Okay, part five, because I just wanted to add. So JD Vance has naturally kind of moved towards his north node. I didn't add this before when I talked about his north node conjunct Chiron in Gemini, and his south node is in Sagittarius, but it's in the fourth house. Even though his fourth house is ruled by Scorpio, his south node that is still in the fourth house is in Sagittarius. So he has written a book, and so even though he feels wounded by his community and learning, because he didn't get to learn like a normal kind of childhood, he had a kind of childhood that was kind of different and not common for the majority of other children. There's other children who grew up in not so fortunate circumstances, but for him, he learned at a very early age about drugs and abuse and being involved in a community where people they just don't kind of move up the ladder. They have a hard time. It's a very small hometown, and they kind of tend to get stuck there, or there's a lot of poverty. And he in the movie, I watched the movie, I didn't read the book, but he's had to be on Meals on Wheels. He was raised by his grandma for a good chunk of the time, which kind of explains his second house is ruled by Virgo. He had to work very, very hard for his self-worth, and for his money. Even though there's no planets in there, he had to work really hard. He made the choice to not be like a lot of his peers, which in the movie it shows like he could have chosen the path of kind of fooling around. He was almost starting to do that, acting out, being angry, skipping school, hanging out with the other kids who are starting to do pot and drugs and going nowhere, getting pulled back down, but his grandma didn't let him do that, kind of made him work, and work hard and try and get out of that environment, so writing a book, he feels wounded by his community, but he's moving away from this kind of foreign home environment, or this belief system that he grew up in childhood that is kind of foreign, and it's basically conjunct his Uranus, which is it has moments of extreme turbulence that's shocking and disturbing in the home environment, and that's conjunct his south node, and he's moving away from that belief system of his childhood of being stuck in this kind of toxic cycle, or like you can't go anywhere, this is just how it has to